Welcome to another edition of the Sundown series, where today we will be examining Lake Forest, Illinois. And looking at this picture as well as other pictures when I went to Google Images, it looks almost exactly like Kenilworth, Illinois. It's almost like they are in the next town over, or maybe they share a town, because the town setting is almost the exact same. Big, nice homes, probably to the upscale and uppity, the bourgeoisie of society. And, if you are a black person, they probably gonna call the cops on your ass if you rolling down the street in a certain type of vehicle. But I did scroll through and I found some very interesting things about this particular town that definitely would label it as a sundown town. And I'm going to read some of that for you. It says the secluded style of Lake Forest was intended as a form of protection. According to the president of the Lake Forest Lake Bluff Historical Society, the captains of industry and upper class elite who first settled in Lake Forest sought a refuge from late 19th century and early 20th century Chicago. In their view, the city was overrun with immigrants from Southern and Eastern Europe who had dangerous socialist ideas and indulged in excessive alcoholic consumptions. Country clubs became important centers of social activity in Lake Forest's early decades. The Onwantija, I probably pronounced that all wrong, club was, in the words of one writer, the premier social and sporting club in the Midwest. In 1898, members held a plantation-themed party, dining on fried chicken, corn on the cob, and watermelon, served by, in keeping with the party's theme, little colored girls. After dinner, entertainment included a minstrel show. This was a period in the United States history in which there was a considerable interest in Southern culture and mythical plantation society. Both the North and South were active in memorializing their contributions to the Civil War, as well as achieving a kind of reconciliation that, according to historian David W. Blight, pushed issues of race to the side. One of Lake Forest's most notable features in its virgin prairies and other nature preserves. In 1967, a group of 12 longtime residents of Lake Forest formed a land conservation organization. Lake Forest Open Lands Association. Its express purpose was to purchase or otherwise set aside the rapidly disappearing open spaces in the city in the interest of preserving animal habitat, restoring ecosystems, and providing environmental education for the city's children. Now I'm going to scroll down a little bit more because I want to get to the part where it talks about the sundown town part. Lake Forest was a sundown town not only to African Americans but Jews as well. It excluded both from living within the city limits and kept anti-Jewish and anti-African American housing covenants until 1990. So that means black people, and I'm not going to talk about the other group, we're talking about us, that black people could not live in this town up until 30 years ago. In 1990 was when they decided to allow black people to live in this town. And this town was founded back in the 1800s. 30 years ago is not a long time ago. But let me keep going. In 1992, Lake Forest gained national attention when it attempted to ban the sale of offensive music, aka hip hop. And I threw that in there because let's be real here, that's what they're talking about. To anyone under the age of 18, city council members used existing ordinances against obscenity, defined in the codes as morbid interest in nudity, sex, or excretion, to buttress their campaign. Mayor Charles Clark stated, if they sell an obscene tape to somebody underage, we will prosecute. The person who came up most frequently in discussions of obscene content was Ice-T, a rapper who has since also performed as an actor. It says Lake Forest has been named the Tree City USA by the National Arbor Day Foundation in recognition of its commitment to community forests. As of 2006, Lake Forest had received this national honor for 26 years. The actor Mr. T notably angered the town by cutting down more than 100 oak trees in his estate in what is now referred to as the Lake Forest Tree Chainsaw Massacre. Well, shout out to Mr. T for angering Palm Colored back in the day. Let's go ahead and see what their demographics is looking like. It says, as of 2010, there were 19,375 people living in the city. The racial makeup was 92.11% white, 4.67% Asian, 2.80% Hispanic or Latino, 1.30% or two or more races, 1.10% Black or African American, 0.14% Native American, and 0.1% Pacific Islander, and 0.68% of other races. And it's crazy because that was the 2000 census. Now the 2010 census, the 2000 census says that there was 20,059 people there, so they have declined since then. Their racial makeup then was 95.80% white, 1.35% African American. So it was more black people living there back in 2000 opposed to now, but it's not really a big difference. However, it is a bit of a slight drop for the white people that was living there, because remember in 2010 it was 92.11, and then in 2000 it was 95. So they had a drop in 10 years. Who know? I don't know where it's at right now, but they'll probably update it with 2020 at the end of the year. But that was very interesting to learn about this town. But reading that doesn't surprise me whatsoever about that. This is probably one of the first times that I've talked about that mentioned minstrel show in its readings, to be quite honest. Every other town really didn't touch on that, but this one did. But that's really all I have for this edition of this Sundown series. I hope y'all enjoy it. Yes, we are still in Illinois. We are making our way. I told you we will probably be here into the month of July. I think we're like halfway through Illinois right now. So you'll know when I get to the next state. But I hope y'all enjoyed, and I will talk to you in the next one.